Some animals are unicellular. Look here, they are all multicellular. That's one common feature all of them have. So A is not true. This is not correct. All animals with 2 germ layers are protostomes. Here are protostomes. And here are deuterostomes. They have 3 germ layers, both of them. Radial symmetry is the 2 germ layer one, so it can be B. Segmented animals lack a true coelom. That's not true either. All deuterostomes have bilateral symmetry. These are deuterostomes and they do have bilateral symmetry. So the answer is D here. I hope it makes sense. Again, just try going back and try to memorize it. Does it make sense? You just have to read the table to kind of memorize different features. Which of following animals have bilateral symmetry? So think of head to toe. Which one can you cut from head to toe and it will give you a mirror image? See, Kawa said A. I want you guys to kind of, make this an exception here. Don't think this is an answer. It does not have radial symmetry. It's kind of bilateral. So I will talk about it when we get there. But yeah, I agree with Kawa. It's not radial. Okay, so next phylum we have is Cnidaria. It's going to have jellyfish, hydra, corals, sea anemones. This jellyfish is going to have these stinging cells called cnidocytes. If you touch it, something comes out, this discharge comes out like a harpoon. So the name cnidocyte, it comes from nettle. Nettle, it's a plant. So it's a plant. So when someone came across the stinging cells, they said, oh, this is like walking through bushy nettle. So this nettle plant has thorns and spines or spikes on it. So the way the stinging cells were reminded them of this plant nettle. So if you put sea nettle, it's going to show you jellyfishes. It's going to have stinging cells on the tentacles, and that's where the name comes from. So those are called cnidocytes. Let me show you an experiment that we would have done in the lab. So here you take a tentacle, you cut it, and then you put it under the microscope. So this is what it looks like when you put it under the microscope, and then you add a drop of acetic acid. And look, all those stinging cells, they start to stick out. So you can see them now. So they'll stick out like a harpoon. So they're the cnidocytes. So that's a unique characteristic for cnidarians. So there are two things. There is cnidocytes, and then there's nemocyst, something called nemocyst. Other cnidarians that I can think of is spiral coral. Have you guys heard about spiral coral?
Professor, yeah. What's the function of the other part of not cnidocytes, the other one? What's the function?
Nemocyst?
Yes, ma'am.
So cnidocytes are the cells, nemocyst is the structure. That's referring to the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So fire corals, these are fire corals, and they can give you skin infection. You don't want to, so look here. You don't want to get scraped by a file coral. So it's a Cnidarian. Another one I can think of is man-o-war. Not this man-o-war. Here. So you don't want to get stung by a man-o-war either. So this can also give you skin infection if you get stung. So this man-o-war has radial symmetry, but if you look at it, you think, oh, it's not radial. But when they look at the embryonic development, it has radial symmetry. So in one life stage, if it has radial symmetry, they put it in that group. So it has radial symmetry when in the embryo. So Cnidarians are the only group that has radial symmetry here and has 2 germ layers, and the stinging cells known as cnidocytes, and the pneumocyst would be the structure. So let's fill this out. Cnidaria, common name, I would say jellies. Symmetry radial, digestive system sac-like. Does not have complete digestive system. Unique characteristics is cnidocytes. So those are the cells, site cells. And the structure in there is pneumocyst. Examples, jellyfish. Sea anemone, corals, etc. So that's Cnidaria. Next one we have is flatworms, mollusks, and annelids. So we're going to talk about flatworms first. I didn't talk about these 2 characteristics here. I don't want you to worry about this one here seen in some of the marine organisms. Exozoa is molting. So I'll show you some molting examples later. So don't worry about this one. So next phylum for flatworms we have is called Plathelminthes. This includes Planaria, flukes, and tapeworms. So Planaria, you've probably seen it around. So it's going to have sac-like digestive system. It has this tube. It's going to take the food in, digest it, and then eject the waste out. So it has a sac-like digestive system. And it has this flat body. So that's why they're called flatworms. It also includes tapeworm. Have you guys heard about tapeworm? It can give you stomach infection. So it doesn't have a mouth. So it lives in your digestive tract or host's digestive tract, and host digests the food for it, and it just takes up the nutrients through the skin. It lives in the intestines of the host. So there's no mouth or anus for the tapeworm. And this tube is like a vacuum cleaner. It's going to suck the food in, produce waste, and eject the waste out. So the waste leaves through the same opening as the food, where the food goes in. And there's no coelom, no body cavity, so no coelom. Let me show you Planaria. You've probably seen this one around, maybe you didn't know what it was called. So this is Planaria. It's the one where you can, let's see. So you can cut this organism in half or however you want to, and then it regrows. It grows back. I wanted to see. There was one image I'm trying to look for. Anyway, so you can cut it and then it grows back. So if you cut it like this, maybe right here, it's gonna grow the tail back. If you cut it like this, it's gonna grow the head back or whatever parts. If you cut it, so here, if you cut it right here, it grows the head back. But if you, I'm trying to see if I can show you a picture of it being cut the other way around, longitudinally. But anyway, so if you cut it longitudinally, it's going to grow back the remaining body parts. So this is the one that grows back here. You can see that. So it starts to grow back. So you've probably seen this one around, it regrows. And then let me show you how it feeds. So here's an egg yolk. It's going to take the food in through the tube, like a vacuum cleaner. So that's called pharynx. Once it takes the food in, digests it, then it's going to eject the waste through the same opening. So now it's going to eject the waste through the same opening. So it has a tube, like a vacuum cleaner. Another thing we have in this group is tapeworm. So we have the tapeworm here. Some of you might have heard about it. This is the one that can give you infection. So if your dog or a cat goes out and maybe feeds on some feces, there can be eggs of tapeworms in there. Then this tapeworm is going to start growing inside, and it can grow up to 20 to 25 feet long. And that's coevolution, because that's how long your small intestine is. This is a tapeworm someone pulled out of their butt. So it can grow really, really long. You can just take some medicine that can take care of it. So some special characteristic for this tapeworm is that it has hooks on the head. It has hooks. So if you try to pull it out, it's gonna try to stay there in place. The hooks help it stay in place there. So you can't really poop it out. And then the tail here, the tail, it has eggs in it. I don't know if those dots are representing eggs. So it has eggs in it. So it just comes off, and then it releases the eggs, and then more of these can start growing. This is one of the reasons they don't use human poop for human sewage for fertilizing crops and stuff, because there can be all kinds of diseases there. I was trying to look for a video, but then this is the one I found. So they're going to pull out a tapeworm, and it's going to be really long as your small intestine, and that shows coevolution.
It's just a magic trick. Sneaky. I'm falling for it this time. Never retracted.
Lake fishing can be fun. It can bring the generations together. You don't cook that trout or perch well, you'll be giving room and board to this fella. By free board, I mean all B12 you could take in.
I could have a tapeworm in.
So that's tapeworm.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
But it's gonna help you remember it because you watched the video now. Okay, so let's do the table for this. It's Plathelminthes. Flatworms. Symmetry, what type of symmetry you guys think it has? So think of the head and tail. That's bilateral.
Bilateral.
And digestive system is sac-like. You guys already saw that. And then unique characteristic, I'm going to say first nervous system. And then some examples would be planaria, flukes, and tapeworm. Next thing we have is molluscs. So you can see it's spelled with K here, but with a C here. So sometimes it's spelled with a K, sometimes with a C. So phylum Mollusca includes snails, scallops, squids, octopus, slugs. So let's talk about some of the special things that it has. It has mantle tissue. That's the one that makes the shell. Now you might notice slugs don't have a shell, octopus don't have a shell. They still have some of the mantle tissue, so that's why they're in the same group. And because it has a shell, we have a really good fossil record of this group because the shells can get fossilized. It has this big foot that gets modified into, depending on which organism it is. So snails, they're using this big foot to crawl. Slugs and snails use it for crawling. Squids might use it for digging. In octopus, it gets modified into arms. And then another thing it has this visceral mass. Visceral mass is going to have all the soft gut organs. So this section is going to hold all the organs. So that's called visceral. Visceral is inside your gut. So that's going to have all the soft gut organs. So let me show you scallop swimming.
So tortoise is not among them, right?
What is?
Tortoise is not among them, right? Or they look alike.
I'm not understanding what you're saying, George.
So I'm talking about tortoise. They look alike, but I don't think he's among them, right?
No, I think. Okay, so here is a diver. He is going to scare these scallops, and then they're gonna start swimming. So watch the way they swim. They are bivalves like clams, and then they start swimming here. He's going to scare them. So look. So scallops can use that big foot for digging. And you notice that it has scallops, it has snails, it has slugs, and also have octopus. So this is a very diversified group. There's a lot of diversity in it. So octopus. Octopus is very smart, maybe smarter than your dog or cat. So let me show you an octopus solving a problem. So they really like crab. So here in this video, there's a fish inside this bottle, and this octopus is going to use the trial and error method. So he's going to try to open it using different methods. So he's trying to open it, he's trying to wrap it around, and there's that fish in it. So it's learning to kind of wrap the tentacles around. This is the first time he has seen this bottle too. So it's the first time he saw it, and there he sees there's a fish in it, and he's trying to open it in different methods, by maybe wrapping the tentacles around and trying to release the lid. And then here, he's gonna be able to pop, he's not able to turn the lid, but he's able to pop the nipple out of the bottle. So I think, yeah, so he popped the nipple out, and then now he ate the fish. So here, there, he popped it out. So they're very smart. Let me show you a relative of octopus and scallops both. It's cuttlefish. So here's a cuttlefish. Look at the colors changing, and it's not because of surface weight. It's the actual skin color that keeps changing. So that's the actual skin color. So it's going to change. There. So it changes colors. This is Mannery Bay Aquarium. They should go there sometimes. So let's go ahead and fill this table out. So we have Mollusca. I'm just gonna say mollusks for this. Symmetry for everything from here on is bilateral. It's going to have complete digestive system, and then unique characteristics: mantle tissue, muscular foot, visceral mass, examples: clams, octopus, snails, slugs. There's some examples. Okay, so next we have, so we went over flatworms and then mollusks. In this group, we have one more, that's annelids. Annelids include earthworms, leeches, and polychaetes. So earthworms, they are segmented. So this group is segmented. So annelids are segmented worms. And then they have bilateral symmetry. So there is segmentation. They have bilateral symmetry. So you can see the segmentation here, here, even here. And they have bilateral symmetry. And you have to cut it from head to tail to get a mirror image. They have a complete digestive system. And they also have circulatory system, a closed circulatory system. You can kind of see the blood vessels here. So let me show you earthworm in Australia. This is the biggest, largest earthworm. So here, this is not photoshopped. That's earthworm found in Australia, really big. And then the polychaetes. Polychaetes are going to have these bristles. So there's segmentation you can see, and then it's going to have these bristles or hair-like structures. Poly means many, so it's referring to many bristles that it has. So polychaete means many feet or many hair-like structures or bristles. So this is an example of a polychaete. Some other ones that are polychaetes, there's a clam worm that people use for fishing. It's used for fishing. So this one, people use this for fishing. This is ocean's version of earthworm. And then I don't know if you guys heard about Christmas worms. So Christmas worms. So these are tube-like.
It looks Christmassy.
Yeah. Other one we talked about was leeches. Let me see leeches. So leeches, they can, they are parasites. They can bite into the skin and they can suck the blood out. So here, they can bite into skin and they can suck the blood out. So the friends who take your money and then they don't call back, that's why you call them leeches. They drain you emotionally and financially. So leeches, they are also used for medicine in medieval times. If someone got poisoned and there's that bad blood there, they're going to put some leeches on there, and leeches are really good at sucking blood out. So they will suck all the bad blood out. So they use it for medicine. Even now they use it for medicine. If somebody gets a maybe surgery or there's a bruise here, and there is this blood, dead blood there, and it's going to take a long time to clear. But if you put some leeches there, it's going to clear very quickly. They suck all the bad blood out or the blood that's dead. If you have an amputated finger and the doctor attaches all the capillaries very carefully, and then there's a chance that those capillaries might get some clots, so they can put some leeches on there just to make sure there are no clots. So they can suck all the bad blood out and there's no clots, and it's gonna heal a little bit better. So they can use it for the surgeries in delicate places like amputated finger. So that's the leeches. So let's do this annelids. Segmented worms, I wanna say. And bilateral complete. Special things, closed circulatory system. And examples, earthworms, leeches, polychaetes. No A. There is A. Okay, so there's a question. Animals commonly called worms are classified into flatworms, roundworms, and annelids. What feature distinguishes them?